Superhero movies. I'm sure you're all aware of the current craze involving these films. They're basically the Western genre of our age. They're similar to Western movies because there's too many of them. Each year, there's so many Marvel, DC, Fox, and even the occasional animated superhero movie like Captain Underpants. It's gotten to the point where these movies are being churned out like crazy, just to make a quick buck and sell some toys, and a lot of them are pretty bad and lackluster. Like basically all the DC EU movies and even recent Marvel movies like Black Panther and Infinity War. Common tropes in these movies are bland colours and lighting, stale plots with little character development, horrible CGI, and weak villains. One or more of these flaws are seen in nearly every superhero movie and gives off the impression that not a whole lot of effort was put into these movies. However, there is one movie that doesn't suffer from any of these common flaws, and in my opinion, is easily the best superhero movie of all time. And no, it's not DC or Marvel, it is The Incredibles. This probably isn't a surprise to you if you know me, since I love gushing about this movie, but I see The Incredibles as the greatest superhero movie, and I can break it down into two major categories: the characters and the plot, and the world building and smaller details. When combined, these two categories make an amazing film that's not only the best superhero movie, but also my favourite movie of all time. To begin with, let's talk about the characters and plot. The Incredibles has some of the most developed characters in any movie because it did something that most movies in this subgenre haven't attempted. They made the abnormal seem normal and made superheroes, these godlike characters, come off as regular Joes. This is clearly seen in the Parr family being superheroes that certainly aren't normal, but they're depicted as trying to be normal when they try to fit into society and when they're shown as a normal family. The great thing about the characters especially is how their superpowers accommodate to their personalities. Mr. Incredible's super strength because he has to support his family, Elastigirl as well. Elastic because she has to hold the family together. Bella has invisibility because she is shy. Dash has super speed because he's hyperactive, and Jack has a bunch of powers because he's a baby and doesn't have a definite personality. A great scene that sets up the character development of Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl is the interview scene at the beginning of the movie. Mr. Incredible talks about how he wants to settle down, and on the opposite end of the spectrum, Elastigirl talks about how she wants to keep being a superhero. In the present, these ideas are swapped. Elastigirl settled down and is fine with civilian life, whilst Mr. Incredible is obsessed with reliving his glory days and leads into the whole movie's plot kicking into motion. And by the end, the two characters have to learn to balance both family life and their professional lives. Even the villain in The Incredibles is outstanding. Most superhero movies suffer from poorly written villains, where they have either no motives or it's just a trope where the villain has the same powers as the hero, but not Syndrome. At first he comes off a bit of a bumbling moron, but as the plot progresses, he is revealed to be a serious threat. He had clear motives in trying to get revenge on Mr. Incredible, and for a kid's movie, is actually surprisingly dark. Like, remember the scene where he captures Mr. Incredible and convinces him that his family's dead, and when Mr. Incredible threatens to kill Mirage, he doesn't even take it seriously, because he doesn't have the guts to do it. Or when he was slowly killing off all the supers one by one, and Mr. Incredible watched in horror when he found out the truth about his old friends being murdered. Wow, what a great family-friendly movie! Syndrome also has a great plan. He takes the idea of making the abnormal normal and pushes it to the extremes. He wants to get revenge on supers because he wasn't allowed to become a hero because he had no powers. He invents technology which basically makes him a super, and he plans to later sell this technology when he retires to make a fortune and destroy supers as a whole. Because as he states himself,
and when everyone's super, no one will be.
Now that I've talked about these two aspects of the film that make it so great, it's time to talk about the little details that push the movie a little further in greatness. Like, wasn't the action scene of Violet and Dash taking on Syndrome's cronies the coolest? I had the awesome action and this great moment where the soundtrack changes to accommodate for Dash's uncertainty and his instinct of his running on the water, and picks up again when he becomes confident of his newfound ability? Or about when Bob completely obliterates his manager Epic style, who was also that wizard in OKKO by the way. Or even when it shows Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl in the early days, the lighting is different from the rest of the movie because it's like looking back on it with nostalgia, it's also similar to a comic book. Or how about when... Okay, I think it's enough, but you get the point. The Incredibles has so many small details which proves that the creative team behind the film cared so much about a project. Not only was it monumental for superhero movies, which were a struggling subgenre at the time, believe it or not, and was groundbreaking for Pixar because it was their first movie to properly feature humans that don't look like plastic. It's a shame they took a step backwards with Cars, but that's besides the point. The success and impact this movie has had on the genre just goes to show that The Incredibles really is the greatest superhero movie and my personal favourite movie of all time. And if you have not seen this movie, then go pick it up. You're missing out. Watch it. Just watch it and see how cool it is. Now, let's just hope The Incredibles 2 doesn't fade into the background and not stand out amongst the crazy amount of cape saturation at the moment. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Sorry if this video was like a bit kind of lackluster on the editing side because it was a little bit unenjoyable to make once I got to the editing part, so I'm not sure I'm going to continue doing these analysis videos, but if you guys liked it, then just comment below and say whether you liked it, if I should continue making some. The next video will be a story video, and yeah. I've got a Discord server now, so the link to that will be in the description if you want to join that. And yeah, in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see all y'all later.